Welcome to Garage Gym Athlete Ask Me Anything. It's pretty simple. I'll be answering questions from the thousands of athletes that follow our daily programming. If you have a question or topic you want submitted, go to garagegymathlete.com/AMA. Let's get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jared Moon here. Welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. We're doing Ask Me Anything. So if you want to be a part of this, if you haven't already, go to garagegymathlete.com/AMA. You can suggest a topic, ask a question, anything that you want really, and that's what I'm covering here today. Now, if you're listening to this via audio only, this is also live on YouTube. If you're watching this YouTube channel, what's up? Pretty much just me on camera, but another way, I can answer more questions and dive into things a little bit deeper with you guys. So I'm going to get started right away. Pretty much what we're going to do in these segments, question, I'll give kind of maybe some of my backstory or help, what I've seen with other athletes, or even if there's some studies I can pull when relevant, I would. This first one is from Frank. I'm not going to mention anybody's last name. You most likely know if you asked the question. He specifically wanted to know about male body image issues. He says there seemed to be a lot of focus on women, but as a male that has had and still has body image issues, discussing this from a male perspective would be great. Tied in with this is the dark side of fitness, that being steroid use. All right, I think my audio levels are still good. So I know Frank, we go back a long way. He's been a part of the community for a long time, and this goes all the way back to a Better Humanology podcast. I think we actually called it the dark side of fitness, where we talked about steroid use. I've never actually used steroids, but having been in fitness for a long time, I actually have been offered, performance-enhancing drugs like steroids, testosterone, like all these different testosterone boosters that aren't quite legal. And all these other things. I've always strayed away from it, primarily because my focus has been health and performance, but not performance at the detriment of my health. So I do want to talk about this because it's very interesting, but I want to start in a study. Specifically, let's see, what's this one called? It's called Body Dysmorphic Disorder, Recognizing and Treating Imagined Ugliness. So this is something I actually suffered with pretty early on, was body dysmorphia. So I started in the bodybuilding side of things, and I really did, if you've ever been into bodybuilding world, you're always trying to get bigger and stronger and all these things, but it comes at a downside. Like eventually, how big is big enough? I always chased bigger, wanting to grow, bigger biceps, bigger quads, all these things. But at some point it becomes like a psychological disorder. If you skip a workout, you start to go down some really bad paths. You feel small. Like there's a lot of negative, and that dark side of fitness that you're talking about, Frank, is a very real thing. I think we both know that. But I wanted to ask the 3 questions they have in this study for diagnosing body dysmorphia disorder. So first question is, are you very worried about your appearance in any way? Or are you unhappy with how you look? If yes, what is your concern? This is the questionnaire they use in a study to kind of get people diagnosed with BDD. The second question, does this concern preoccupy you? That is, do you think about it a lot and wish you could worry about it less? How much time do you spend thinking about, fill in body area of concern? So whether that's your bicep size, your weight, whatever it is. And then third, what effect has this preoccupation with your appearance had on your life? Has it significantly interfered with your social life, schoolwork, job, other activities, or other aspects of your life? Caused a lot of distress, affected your family or friends? So obviously, if you answer a lot of those in the affirmative, you're going to be headed towards the BDD route. And like I said, I struggled with this for a long time. I think it's a great question. I can't speak from a female perspective, but that's obviously a big thing as well for females. Always worrying about weight on the scale and things that aren't as important as just being healthy and fit. But as someone who did struggle with this, what helped me the most is really focusing on performance and only performance. Instead of worry, because, I really used to be like, I would do a 12-week cycle, something like that, measure the size of my biceps, measure after. That's really the only thing that I was looking for at that time, was growth. And so once I moved to performance mindset, everything was, how much weight could I lift? How fast could I run? What are the different things I could do? What event could I tackle? And once I started to focus on that, it wasn't right away. It took several years, I would say, to really truly be released, of not caring at all about how big my arms were, or if I was growing, or what my weight was. Really focusing on that performance helped me for a very long time, get past what probably was, I would say, a mild to moderate case in my case of body dysmorphia, and just really focus on performance. And so maybe you could do that to some degree, knowing that it's not going to go right away. There's not, a trigger. Like even in this study, they talk about treating this disorder, and the only options they have are SRIs, so serotonin reuptake inhibitors, so Medicaid, or cognitive behavioral therapy. And that's, that can go into a lot of different domains, CBT right there. But I think what I'm talking about is along those lines. So trying to focus your goals and your ideas on performance metrics over time, I think, can release you of that mentality of always being focused on your body image. And this is something that we've been, preaching, talking about forever, is like, move away from, the scale, move away from your waist size or your arm size, whatever, and move just towards a performance metric. Maybe over the course of a year, you want to accomplish something in the performance world, or over a 12-week cycle, something like that. But if you can focus on what you can do instead of how you look, it's going to go a long way. And what's cool about it is a lot of people are like, well, what if I actually do want to lose weight and I'm only focused on this performance metric? If you focus on a performance metric, and say you have an 8-minute mile and you want to go down to a 6-minute mile, you're typically going to lose weight if you actually achieve that. There's no way you're morbidly obese and you knock off 2 minutes, down to a 6-minute mile, and you haven't lost some weight in the process. So what's cool is chasing performance metrics really goes hand in hand with lower body fat issues, lower body fat most of the time, and any issues you have with how you look or the weight on the scale. So that's the only thing I really got. That's what helped me a ton, is focus as much as you can on performance metrics and see where that takes you over a long enough timeline. Give it some time to really dial in. But that's it for this Ask Me Anything. For you, Frank, and this is Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. If you guys like this on the YouTube channel, go ahead, subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you got. But anyway, thanks for listening, and until next time. I hope you enjoyed today's Ask Me Anything episode. So one more time, if you want to submit a question, topic, or idea, you can do so at garagegymathlete.com/AMA. And hey, while you're there, if you haven't already, sign up for Garage Gym Athlete membership. We are the best community and programming on the internet. I dare you to try and prove me wrong.